Okay then, I've gotten a lot of requests to do a video talking about some tips to help you on Dodgy Dobo to of course get a higher score and to also get the Dobo saddle. So first let me do a quick game as an example and then we'll talk about it. So the first thing I know a lot of people have been complaining about is actually the backgrounds clashing with the icicles, making it kinda hard to see them, to which we've actually talked about it and later there might be an option to remove the backgrounds. But from my experience from testing this minigame a lot before the update came out, we only had the ice background for our majority of the testing process, and after a while, because I was looking at the same background, my eyes would just start to blur everything together. But once we added the other backgrounds, I've never encountered this issue again, because they're completely different colours and I guess it just doesn't put too much strain on my eyes, so even if we do add the removable background option, some people still might struggle with that. So yeah, actually get into the tips on, okay? In case you don't know, the first 50 icicles are actually easier than the ones after 50. The icicles are actually further from each other, making the gaps bigger, and from 0 to 50, it slowly over time gets closer and closer until you hit 50, and then it's like that for the rest of the game. Oh, and if you didn't know, you don't have to use the left click on your mouse. Spacebar is also another option that lets you jump, so I would recommend trying to figure out which is more comfortable for you. For me, I can use both, and if I'm in a really long game, I'll often just switch back and forth between which one I'm actually using. Next, I guess we should talk about what I actually pay attention to and what I ignore while playing. I actually only pay attention to the bottom icicle. Obviously I can still see the top icicle, but it isn't what my main focus is on. So when I'm playing, I'm not worrying about hitting my head as much, it's mostly just about making it barely over the bottom icicle, which does take jumping perfectly in consideration. Between each score, you should only be clicking about 3 or 4 times, depending how high or low the icicle you just went through is, and where the next one is. And actually, a lot of the time, I end up matching my jumps to some parts of the background song. Not for the entire game, but sometimes it just syncs up really well. Because I'm only paying attention to the bottom icicle, I want my Dobo to be as low as possible throughout the entire game. It's way easier and faster to jump upwards than it is to let the Dobo fall down. And when I am jumping, I'm trying to set myself up so that I'm around the same level as the next bottom icicle so I can clear it with my next jump. I try and get through as many as I can with only one jump, but sometimes if my timing is off a little bit, I'll have to use 2 jumps to go through without my legs catching the bottom icicle, but also then you have to be careful because that second one can easily make you hit your head on the top one. Which actually brings me to the hardest part about this game, or at least for me, and it's these specific icicle placements. The top icicle is just slightly ahead of the bottom one. I've mostly died to these ones, especially if I'm really high up and then I have to drop all the way down to the bottom just for this to be waiting for me. It's really easy to mess up those jumps, specifically because you have to catch yourself before you hit the floor, but if you do it too early, it's basically instant game over. I try to aim to catch myself around the same or slightly below the peak of where the next bottom icicle is. So yeah, that's really all I can think about for like giving you guys tips. If I could think of any more, I would love to also help you guys, but if this does help you, make sure to let me know in the comments down below and maybe leave a like, it really helps me out.